It's a friendship stone. Come closer. Let's blow on it. You blow first.
Elite vet got the evidence hog, rolling through the morning fog, holding up the folder with a great big grin, saying, look what I've been keeping in. Everyone was laughing at the silly debut. The evidence hog came rolling through. I love you, rabbit, I really, really do. I love you, rabbit, yes, it's absolutely true. I'll sing it in the morning, I'll sing it in the night. I love you, rabbit, everything's alright. A lead vet came running to Untrackable too. Can I share that evidence hog with you? Passing it around like the greatest little prize, with goofy grins and oversized eyes. Everybody cheered at the funny point of view, sharing that hog the whole day through. I love you, Trackable, I really, really do. I love you, Trackable, yes, it's absolutely true. I'll shout it from the rooftop, I'll hum it in the zoo. I love you, Trackable, I really, really do. Elite vet called Tinkle just before the night. Did the evidence hog make everything alright? Tinkle laughed and answered, it's been quite the sight. Sleep well, my friend, you too, good night. The hog sat smiling underneath the moonlight blue, waiting for tomorrow's hullabaloo. I love you, Tinkle, I really, really do. I love you, Tinkle, yes, it's absolutely true. We'll sing it all together as happy people do. I love you, rabbit, I really, really do. I love you, Trackable, I really, really do. I love you, Tinkle, I really, really do. He really came at me just 'cause I called you out? Alright then, let's play. You fucked with a petty bitch, now you're stuck in the mix. I ain't screaming, ain't yelling, I just hit you with the wits. Quiet clap back season, I don't need the loud noise. One slick line from me and you spiraling like a toy. Live in your head rent free, got you checking every post, every notification. Got you nervous, heart playing ghost. I smile while I type it, laughing soft in the dark. Psychological warfare, leaving little bite marks. You fucked with a petty bitch, yeah, I'm that one. Won't get loud, won't get mad, just having fun. Dig after dig, I stay calm and collected. Got you losing sleep while I'm perfectly rested. You fucked with a petty bitch, better watch your tone. I'll live in your mind till you're calling my name on your own, laughing the whole time. Yeah, the joke's on you, petty bitch energy. What you gon' do? You attack 'cause I spoke truth, now you caught in the web. I don't chase, I just plant seeds that grow inside your head. Every little comment got you questioning your life, while I'm over here chilling, sipping victory with ice. No rage, no drama, just precision with the shade. Make you spiral in silence, watching your whole day fade. I stay unbothered, smiling pretty through it all. You fucked with a petty bitch, now I'm watching your empire fall. You fucked with a petty bitch, yeah, I'm that one. Don't get loud, don't get mad, just having fun. Dig after dig, I stay calm and collected. Got you losing sleep while I'm perfectly rested. You fucked with a petty bitch, better watch your tone. I'll live in your mind till you're calling my name on your own, laughing the whole time. Yeah, the joke's on you, petty bitch energy. What you gon' do? Don't yell, don't scream, just let it marinate. One witty reply and you stay fucked with a petty bitch, and I'm loving every minute of it.
My fellow felons, hello. Hi, everyone. How is everybody doing today? It's Saturday. It's Saturday, and it's time for your daily Doofus Crest. Daily Doofus Crest. And I actually need to change the battery for my mouse, so I can't see the chat right now. But how is everybody doing? I know a bunch of you are over at Killa's, so welcome in the replay crew, or welcome in at a later time, which is totally fine, because I'm sure there's way better things to watch than me, which is, I'm okay with that. I'm 100% okay with that. I just happened to be cruising the YouTube streets and came across our little master. Our little master. Little master's live. And what's he doing? Oh, your typical being, I guess it wasn't my mouse. Being a typical sick bastard is what he's doing. Yeah, relishing in somebody's misery, relishing in the fact that somebody passed away, relishing in the fact that, somebody lost the love of their life, your typical Christian behavior that somebody does. And, it makes them such a great person. Yeah. So, and it's fun to watch him. Now all of a sudden he is being, if I correct you, Tinkle, I'm not doing it to be malicious. I'm not doing it to be mean, but I've had so much lawfare against me and so many things said about me that, I have to be more careful on what's being said. And I got to, make sure that what I talk about is the truth. It's got to be allegedly. It can't be anything, that I can get caught up in. It's a little too late for that, mister. It's a little too late. Too late and $1 short. Bud. So I'm gonna actually just go back a little bit. Like right about here. And let's see what's going on.
Going from really upset to oddly calm. He doesn't deny the fighting. He doesn't deny that she wanted her truck back. He doesn't deny that she was moving to Ohio. He doesn't deny that, that about the BDSM websites.
Let me give you a little context of what's going on. So he is what it sounds like. I haven't listened. I kind of just hopped in. He is listening to the phone call that he made to Alicia Lang, in Ohio after Andrea passed, after the police had left, all of that stuff. So he's playing that phone call that he made to her, and Alicia recorded, which is, that's weird, but whatever. But that's what he's doing.
He doesn't deny that she was angry at him. She doesn't deny any of these assertions at all. No pushback. No. What do you mean? What are you talking about? That's crazy. No, I'm not doing that. I love my wife. Nothing like that. Matter of fact, we hear something akin to, yeah, she can get fucked, basically.
Yeah, that kind of knocked my socks off tonight. I don't know if I heard that last year or not. I remember parts of this phone call, but I don't.
Because this actually came out on my show. I reviewed
it. I didn't really hear anything akin to get fucked on anything that Rabbit has said. So, yeah, that's a little, okay, you just, yeah, okay, mister, if that's what you want to hear, okay. Sorry, guys, I was looking for my phone. I gotta find my phone so I can read your comments, you guys. You know, in case you guys were all wondering, I'm at the pool. So I'm sitting out at the Cabana. So I'm only working with one screen today. So apologize for that. All right. All right. So let's see what's going on in here. What's up, Ray Ray? How are you, sir? It's nice to see you. Welcome to Doofus Crest. Muckster. What up, Muck? Here you go, buds. Come on up, Muckster. What's up? Not that JP. Yes, Andrea. Yes, Andrea's passing was concluded as self-inflicted. Yes. Not that JP. Muckster.
Links? I don't need no stinking links.
Oh, okay. Sorry. How are you, sir? I text you and you're like, about time. Hi, Twyla. How are you?
All right. I've just been vegging all day.
Yeah. That's always good. I also kind of took a little bit of a nap. I wasn't feeling very well today. So,
I did see some interesting stuff before I zoned out. You know,
what's
when
that?
way back when Stone Vet was still on, and Finkel would come in there and try to get some attention, and then I
Yes.
saw Todd. Well, Todd, I don't know if you were still there. Todd stopped in and he decided to go live and challenge Vet to another donathon. He was going to go over to
No, I
his
did not
place.
do that.
Yeah, and this time his people were going to out super chat the Stone Vet people, and of course the Stone Vet people went bang bang bang
Hold my
bang bang.
doofus. They said, hold my doofus.
And I went over and looked at Todd's, and he had $28, and 21 was from Finkel. Yeah, but then I watched for a couple of minutes, and it was just sort of fascinating. I mean, I watched Todd for a couple of minutes because Finkel was there and Jism came in. Yeah, you hear all this alternate history and stuff. It's just fun. But I saw Jism. He came in and said, "Yeah, I went into Muckster's and I asked a simple question, and he started screaming at me." And it's like, no, Jism came into Muckster's and was being an asshole, and Muckster said, "Hey, Jism, I don't need you here," and threw you out. But
Right.
anyway, after that, I zoned out for the rest of the day, and I was just sitting there going, "Where's that bitch at?" Ding ding, I'm going live.
You're like, about fucking time. Candace, hey girl, hey. Yeah, Chris Milky. Let's see. David. Hi guys. Hello everybody. I'm just chilling. Just was waiting. Just I was what was I doing? Just waiting for something fun. I don't even remember what I was going to say because this just caught my attention. I just got blocked over again. I just got blocked again over there for asking for real receipts. Receipts for what though, troll? That's the question. Yeah, because they're over there. I've already heard like 5 different lies or escalated stories or, something along those lines. Sitting just as I was, I gotta fold my laundry. Just sitting listening while I was kind of like doing a little bit of house chores. And I was like, that's not true. And it was like, well, that's not true. So I was like, you know what? Let's steal his views because he's got what are we at? How many people? Let's see. He's got 56,
56.
20 likes. Oh, I'm stuck on top chat. Oopsies. And 56 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That's actually a big
7
crowd
chats.
for him.
It is. His chat's moving pretty fast. Can he keep up? Just wondering. And they keep saying that she's leaving, but yet not a single receipt. Not a single receipt of any kind of text message, email, nothing saying I'm leaving him. Nothing. I mean, where are those receipts? So, janitor, you guys are here kind of. It's okay because I know that Killa is still alive. So, it's totally fine.
And so far you have 35 watching, and I think it was 12 participants.
Nice. What is that app that Killa used? What is he on?
Oh, Rumble?
Rumble. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Because I know that he and MBK were going over the whole like gun thing.
Oh yeah.
The video that that MBK showed last night.
Yeah.
I know that they were going over that. Yeah, Killa's got a bunch.
Yeah,
and I hear it's their anniversary.
Oh yeah.
Mhm. I hear it's Mester and Brandy's anniversary.
And this is how he celebrates.
Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. So, and this morning, and I caught it on recording. I just haven't been able to download it yet. But this morning, he's like, "Well, we don't really share that with people." Like, he kind of like looked at it and he was silent for a really long time. And he was like, "Well, we don't really share that with people, but I guess you guys are close enough to know," as he says it to the entire internet. Moron.
That gun thing is what Finkel was sweeping for him in Stone Vets. And
oh yeah,
Stone Vets showed the video. He showed it from yours. Oh, you were still there then because you gave him the timestamp like 10 seconds before I found it. But anyway, and Finkel sits there and he watches the video and he goes, "I never heard him say straw." It obviously wasn't a straw purchase because Todd never said straw.
Never said straw.
Yeah. Oh my God, they're hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like, well, no, Your Honor. Did I ever say rape? Obviously not. I'm totally innocent.
Right.
Never once the entire night did I say burglary.
But I stole, the neighbor's chainsaw. But I never said burglary. Burglary. Burglar. What's it? Oh my gosh.
Hey, I went to school. I went to school with Mr. Burgley. Anyway.
Candace. Well, just like any other day. What's up, Swag?
I think probably for the anniversary, the wife went out antiquing, and I'm making quotes, with, quote, her mom. We know what that actually means.
Right. That means Mist spent some quality time with her kids.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure she would totally tell Mester what, she had planned for the day. Uh-huh. Right. Yeah, he's been on twice today for his anniversary, you guys. Great marriage. Ooh. Sorry if you hear the wind. Yeah, I'm at the Cabana. I'm hanging out at the pool.
At the Cabana.
Little pups are playing. Yeah, they're playing in the pool. They're having a good time. All right, let's see what's going on over here. All right, here we go.
Because it came out on with Press Harder, Sean, they all did it, and I reviewed them reviewing it. I reviewed them playing it, I believe. I don't believe it, or unless she might have been up on my panel, and she may have played it for us, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, yeah, actually, I think it was originally broadcast on my channel.
I'm sure I've heard this, at least part of this conversation before, and I think I was in a different mindset than I am now after hearing the 911 call.
So this,
Dove, don't even worry, darling. Don't even worry. Like, you stay over at Killis. You guys all stay over at Killis. It's totally fine. It's totally fine.
What's this in private chat? Dove's a fucking traitor? I should have read that.
What? Man, that's why it's called private chat. Private. Muckster.
This is why I think it is important to hear it based on new evidence, new things coming to light. This man absolutely viciously attacking me in real life, claiming to be a victim, attacking you in real life, claiming to be a victim. Apparently, he. By the way, I don't know if you knew this, but I'm going to say it. You know our lawyer? Yeah. Hello?
I know our lawyer.
I think he knows
so
the
Mr.
lawyer
Collins is actually pro bono, representing one of the.
What was that?
No, he says, you know our lawyer, and then he pauses. It's like, I think he probably does.
Yeah, good old Chuck Charlie. Good old Chucky Chuck Charlie. Good Chucky Chuck. How far could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck were to chuck wood? Chuck.
Clerks in Jefferson County, because he's going after her.
Oh.
So this Muppet is just going after everyone. Everyone.
Barthel's going after one of the county clerks?
Yeah, he's trying to sue her for something. So Collins said he picked up that case pro bono to protect her. Yeah, he's doing pro bono work. This is how much of a Muppet he is. Then he gets in a fight with COs, allegedly. I mean, all of these...
Candace, exactly. We all worship Muckster. I mean, duh.
Allegations are allegedly until he's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Okay, I want to make sure I say that. I think a point to keep during this fact is that there are so many of us here who were on Billy's side until the morning came out and we saw the truth. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of there were people that have left his side, so to speak, or have receded at the very least at different times throughout this year, little over a year. So for us to continue to expose this, I think is beneficial, because what I believe then, what I believe now, I didn't believe then. What I know now, I didn't know then.
Yeah, Stone Vet reminded me today that I was going to violently approach someone in defense of William Barthel.
Mm-hmm.
I'd forgotten that. Remember the car accident? Yeah. I'm like, well, I didn't forget the car accident, but I forgot that I was violently angry at Sean Porter because I so believed Rabbit and so disbelieved Porter.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Now he's playing the I don't remember that I was going to drive to Porter's house and
yeah, Stone Vet just reminded him today. Whenever he was just telling this story a couple of weeks ago, and when it happened, the story was he was just like out shopping or something when he was in that accident. At least that's what he told the people that were pretending to be his friends at the time. Yeah. I keep learning all kinds of stuff.
Wow, he is such a liar. Oh my gosh, yes.
I learned a couple other things today too, by the way, while we're talking about it. Like I learned that all my mods are GS's former mods. It'll be interesting to check that list. I also
that's okay.
learned what's that?
That's okay because all of the mods in DirectD are all of my mods.
Yeah. I also learned that I coached you to when you went on Todd's and told you what to say to trigger Finkel because I knew it was a sore spot with him, even though I still don't know what the fuck he's talking about. But
yeah,
but it's like I said, he's a woman. I'm sorry. I hate when they keep saying that stuff over there. But it's like, which sex is known the most for saying, you know what you did? While the other sex is going, I have no idea. That's what he keeps going. Muckster knows. He knows what he did. Muckster. But yeah, and also, and I was talking about this before, and people are like going, wait a minute. He thinks somebody can give secret orders? You know, it's like they're laughing that I was, telling you what to do to go over there and get Finkel. Oh my God. Finkel's become such a Todd,
Yeah.
He's into that whole paranoia thing and stuff. Now, Todd has JJ, Finkel has Muckster plotting against him, making all these moves in the background. And, I love that Muckster destroyed FMAC and destroyed the channel, even though Muckster now has more subs and people watching than FMAC ever did. But yeah, I forget there was something else I was going to say I learned today. I'll probably think of it in a little bit.
Okay.
It's just interesting to always learn these things. Things you didn't know about yourself,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not completely off base that people can't tell me what to do. There are people who can, and they go by the name of JJ, Muckster, Stone Vet, Candace, Chris Milky, Twiggy, Woody, Swag, Rabbit. I mean, the Commander. I mean.
See, I only have one person that can tell me what to do. Do you know what their name is?
Muckster?
No.
Mom.
No. It's who the fuck do you think you're talking to?
Oh. Yeah.
Funny, I got taken to court and you got taken to court, but all these other people did not. I think the 911 call really hit too close to home for them.
Yeah, and I'm gonna continue to go over it. I'm gonna continue to analyze it. I'm gonna continue to explore it. What's up, Ron Schaefer? Good to see you. Saying hi to some folks. I don't know about that panic, but all right, I'm gonna hit play on this.
Okay.
It's so fucking good. I don't know what's going on. Dude, I just fucking talked to her.
3 p.m.
No. 3:23 p.m. is when she hung up. So I just want to make sure that we don't say things. And I apologize, Steve.
I apologize. I read my notes out loud.
Right. So for me is this, okay? If I know something to be incorrect or I don't know something to be a fact, I want to make sure that we're very clear And both of us having basically been trying to be dragged through the court system, I think it's very imperative that we're very careful with what we say. So if I hear something being said that I know needs to be corrected, I'm going to quickly correct it, okay? Because I keep getting fucking hemmed up for what other people are fucking saying. And I've never even said 90% of the shit that I'm getting accused of. So I just want to be very, so if I correct you immediately, please do not be offended. I just need it. It's very important that I come as correct as possible with the information that I am sure is either true or false. Okay, does that make sense?
Little too late there, master. Little too little too late. Little too late.
So let me ask you this. Well, I won't even make a hypothetical, but let's say I said something very defamatory and about swag, okay? Like right here now on your channel.
It can't be defamatory because everything you say about swag is true.
Yeah. No, but I mean, if it was something like criminal, like, they do.
Yes.
And you sat there and did nothing, or didn't say, hey, I don't want to hear this here, or look, that's just your opinion. As the host of the channel, doesn't that give you some guilt? You know what I mean?
Yes, that without speaking up, if you don't speak up, you agree.
Or also, let's put it this way. Let's say Twiggy says something in chat, and you do like you did just now. You highlight it down there. Mm-hmm. And again, it's something terrible, defamatory, even criminal about somebody else, and you highlight it, and you don't say, look, Twiggy, I don't want this on my channel, or look, whatever. Again, to me, I think that makes you guilty because you're now highlighting that. And he's sitting there, he's sitting there and he's trying to say, oh, well, it's not my fault that people were calling Rabbit who was it that said narcoleptic instead of...
No, necrophiliac.
Necrophiliac, yeah, but somebody else said narcoleptic. But anyway, I didn't say that he was doing that. I didn't know, but you sat there and let people say it on your channel.
Yep. Yeah. As much as you want to say that you didn't say things, little master, let me just remind you.
Apparently, that everyone called Kaiser a murder burglar. I'm guessing there might be another murder burglar running around. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying. Maybe there's another murder burglar that we need to be curious about.
Yeah. Little too late, master. Little too late. Oh, bye, Karma. Hi, Karma. Bye, Karma. Karma's doing a flyby high, you guys. So, flyby high.
Karma's gonna get you.
It's okay.
That's what's up, Halsey.
Perfect sense. Yeah.
Okay, so she called from 3 to 3:23. Her question is, how did she die in 7 minutes? Because according to what Miss Alicia's saying, okay, you're telling me you got home at 3:30, and now you're saying she's dead. Now, here's the other question. You may be right. Is this phone call to Alicia at 3:30? Now, we need to find out from Miss Alicia when this particular phone call was made that we're listening to.
How many times have people told him over and over, including Alicia, that it was after she passed? Because, oh my gosh. Oh my God. He is fucking stupid. Because she says, the phone call is, I came home from Charlotte. blah, blah, blah. And and she had died. So, oh my gosh. Oh, Master, you're a fucking moron.
I think it was after the 911 call, but I could be wrong. And you could have been right. Meaning this could have been before he even called 911, because he also told Carney that she's dead. Dead. She's gone. What's up, Lola? Yeah. You hear what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And what time did he call Carney? Master? Huh? What time? Oh my God. He really is the dumbest man on earth. He really is. Good night, Dove. Oh my gosh.
I'm tracking.
So you could be right, but I don't have any definitive timeline for that. I believe it was after, because I believe he butt dialed her first, and then either she called back after the butt dial hung up, or 308. Here we go. Finkel, you just asked the right question. So what happened at 308? Rabbit. Oh.
Number 308 time.
So are they saying that at 308 he was home? So if he was home at 308, didn't hear her talking on the phone to Alicia, didn't think to check on.
How is pound 308 turned into 308 a time?
Well, you do see who said it.
I know.
The most brilliant man on YouTube.
They take what Tinkle says as gospel.
Yeah. I'm looking at the tags now on his thing. Why does he think Amagansett Press is going to be interested in this?
Right. It's because he doesn't change his thumbnails or his titles. Oh, jeez.
Honor, even though he had a terrible premonition. I mean, all these different things. Didn't hear a gunshot. Right? Okay, so maybe that's the 308, number 308. Okay. Just try to be more obvious, dude. Don't play the games, and you got to be like, what are you saying? Say what you're saying.
I got to ask Chad a question.
Yeah, stop being cryptic.
I know. Well, I know a bit about guns, but maybe somebody in chat knows more. And tell me if you've ever seen a 308 pistol. If that's what he's talking about, a 308 as a gun, it's a rifle, damn it. I mean, like I say, I could be wrong. Maybe somebody's going to say, oh, no, there's a revolver. But I don't think so. It's like...
I have no idea. I don't know anything about guns. Not a
clue.
clue.
These are these professional investigators.
Potato investigators. I'm sorry. I should have started. I apologize. I should have started.
That's what I'm saying, GMK. Yeah, it's a very popular deer rifle. It's a very popular deer rifle around here. I mean,
Oh, jeez.
Potato investigators. They chase the clues. They miss the facts. Breaking news. They didn't crack the case.
And don't play like codes and weird shit, dude. I don't know. I don't want to put my Sherlock Holmes hat on trying to guess what people are thinking. Interested in this 308 because
since when does he not guess what people are thinking? Or this is the guy, like Stone Vet pointed out today, that first he complains that video he's watching, you could hardly see Rabbit in the dark light. And then he's describing Rabbit's body language.
Body language.
Oh my God.
Not that JP says this is like a conversation between Barney Fife and Goober. Oh gosh.
It was said it would prove what happened. Food Dog said, after death, the body cools at a rate of roughly 1.5 degrees per. Oh, okay, it went away. Fahrenheit per hour until it reaches surrounding temperatures, a process known as algor mortis. Algor mortis. Man, my voice.
But what is the temperature on May 30th when he says it's so hot here?
Thanks, Killa. By the way, fuck you. Fuck off. Thanks, Killa.
To shave his beard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Mountains, North Carolina.
So do we really only have we got 52? We actually got 66 watching and only 19 likes. That can't be right, guys. That can't be right. What's up, Linda? All right, here we go.
Good morning, MC.
That's what I told the deputy. I said if you had friends, their friends would have told me. Would have told you what?
I catched her at 3 o'clock.
I don't get.
How do you not get it, Master? How do you not get it? The fact that someone else spoke to her before she passed away, that's gut-wrenching. How? Oh my gosh. Yes, you were going to say something, Muckster.
I was going to say there's a lot he doesn't get, but also before that, then they're going over the whole body temperature stuff because now they're scientists.
Yes.
Again, they talk about shit like that and like they're, well, this is the way this works. And so we know this. It's like, I've said this 2,700 times now. The experts know all this shit.
Right. I need to come up with a song for Say La La. Hello everyone who came over from Killa's. I hope you guys all had a good time over there. I was, bouncing around and saw this, and we all just love when Master is being a great Christian and obsessing over someone's misery and in the joy of someone passing away and just basically being a disgusting human. So hi, Grandma Wolf. Hey, CJ. Hello, everyone.
That would send him over the edge. That I talked to her at 3 o'clock. Is it because he was so close? Is it because he had a premonition at 3 o'clock? Where did this whole I had a premonition that I needed to get to her at 3 o'clock? Carney, did he say anything to you about that he felt like he needed to get home, that he had to be home by 3 o'clock? Did he tell you that number exactly? I need to know.
I need to know, you guys. I need to know because you know what? That is going to crack the case. I need to know. I need to know everything. I need to know because I'm so obsessed that I need to know.
And I didn't realize that's how premonitions worked.
Creepy as fuck, Master. Master, I need to know the exact time you had your premonition about January 6th. Exact time. When did you have your premonition about January 6th? And who did you tell and at what time? I need to know all the details of your gut feeling premonition about January 6th.
I need to know if he told you that he had premonition something was wrong and that he had to be home at 3 p.m. 22 likes. Hey, Ron. Good to see you. Just listening. All right, Linda. Okay, here we go.
I talked to her at 3 o'clock and she was fine.
I talked to her at 3 o'clock and she was fine. That's twice now. Guys, do me a favor. Share this out. Share. Even if you're watching it with the person you're looking across the table at, share it to that person, please. Even if they're in the room as well. Share this out everywhere, Facebook, wherever you can. And this needs to get some traction. I want as many people to see this as possible.
Yes, please share my live, you guys, because I want to make sure that everybody in the Doofus Crest sees this great, amazing Christian man obsessed over the death of someone's wife. Hi, Doc. Oh, Doc Scrolls. How much I wish you came on panels. I really do. How much I wish that you came, you would come up on panels. Oh, man. Because I would love to sit and, you know what I would like, Doc, is I would like for you and RWR to come up on a panel and discuss mental health and stuff like that. You do come. Yeah, I would love for you guys, for you and RWR to have a discussion about mental health. Like, and I know you can't like discuss specifically Mester, but I don't know. It just, you would talk with non-specific people. Yeah. I would love to get your take on, you know, how people deal with death and, you know, unaliving themselves and all that kind of stuff, and how they respond and the things that they go through and the trauma. It would be, I would love that. But yes, go ahead, Muxter. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, I hate non-specific people. They're annoying.
I talked to her at 3 o'clock and she was fine. She even gave me her email address today to send an email to her.
I just want you to listen to what Mester says. Okay? I want you to listen to this because this is a point that I have brought up. The only people you hate are non-specific. We could just talk about general people, you know, people in general, no one in specific. But listen to what he says right here.
Right? To send an email to her. Gave her me, and my criticism of this was, I thought you were best friends. Why didn't you already have her email address? What I didn't realize is, well, maybe that was her normal email address.
Get your number from Ruff. Okay. Yeah. Cool, Doc. Totally. You are welcome up, Doc. I would love to have you up on panel. What was that, Muxter? Sorry.
Oh, I said, huh? I mean, I like when he said, if you're her best friend, why didn't you already have her email? I was thinking, yeah, I kind of thought the same thing.
He's never said that.
But then when he said something like, oh, well, maybe that's her real email or something, I don't know what the fuck he's saying.
Yeah, because I stopped it. I apologize. Candace, Doc's a crock. Doc, are you gonna let her talk to you like that? I should do this. You know what I should do? Oh, it's because, oh, whoopsies. I am under, I was under the wrong account. Oops. I was reading chats and trying to do things, but I wasn't under my own account. Oops. Oopsies. That's why. I'm gonna do this. Haha. Now you two can battle it out. Logan Sandman. We got 68 people in here, including Logan Sandman. Oh, there we go. Now it'll pin. So I was like, why can't I pin this?
Share, share, share. Even if you're watching it with the person you're looking across the table at, share it to that person, please. Even if they're in the room as well. Share this out everywhere, Facebook, wherever you can. And this needs to get some traction. I want as many people to see this as possible.
I talked to her at 3 o'clock and she was fine. She even gave me her email address today to send an email to her.
Right? To send an email to her. Gave her me, and my criticism of this was, I thought you were best friends. Why didn't you already have her email address? What I didn't realize is, well, maybe that was her normal email address. Or maybe it was a different email address because all of her emails were compromised because Rabbit's is a little secret squirrel spy.
Right.
He did say that he had a feeling and he needed to be home with Andrea. He needed to go and work on his marriage. I think he might have been going to take care of some things, if you ask me, because he knew she was leaving. Probably was.
And then Carney doesn't give a time. But yeah, he says, in my criticism, if she was your best friend, how come you didn't have her email? Bitch, Mester, you've never said that. I said that. So, giggles. I heard Cupcake and Sweet Pea are trying to get disability for anxiety from peeing on their balls because their peckers are so small.
Oh, that's something else I learned today. But it's about you. You stole. Were you lying then or are you lying now? From Todd. He coined that phrase. Even though it's been around for 12,000 years, Todd invented that and you stole it from him.
Well, I mean, I technically did steal it from him because Killa sent me a sound clip of it, and I was like, oh, well, that just fits perfect. But who did Todd steal it from if it's been around for thousands of years? So
he was going to be gone and he was going to be alone on the weekend. Maybe. I don't know. Just a thought. Would it need to be around, hold on. Would it need to be around the 3 p.m. shift time because certain police officers work that shift? Interesting. Huh. Oh, wow. Interesting. Huh. I wonder when shift change was.
I don't know, but the conversation I just heard before this was her saying that they become very close to some cops and very distant from others.
Because she was gonna send it out to people, and this is very shocking.
I got home from shower. I got in the shower. Got out of the shower, went in and said hi to her. She fuck's gone.
All right, wait, what? All right, let me hear that one more time.
Very shocking.
I got home from shower. I got in the shower. Got out of the shower, went in and said hi to her.
Got in the shower, got out of the shower, went in to say hi to her, and she was gone. No, she wasn't gone. She had agonal breathing. You performed CPR on her for 32 minutes. She still had a faint pulse when she was pronounced. When the EMTs detected a faint pulse, according to the ME.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Watching these guys try and dissect medical stuff and forensics is just sad. It's just sad. Just dumb. Absolutely dumb.
She wasn't gone, Billy. You were shocked that she wasn't gone, is my guess. And while she languished and suffered, you hopped in a shower and shaved, is my guess. This is just my...
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Muxter, yeah?
No. I can't.
Yeah, he's mentally warped. He is... This is just remember, you guys, this is a great Christian dude who, you know. Yeah.
Wasn't gone, Billy. You were shocked that she wasn't gone, is my guess. And while she languished and suffered, you hopped in a shower and shaved, is my guess. This is just my guess. Like a sick fucker. And then you didn't even go into the room because you figured, well, she's gone. I did the job, allegedly, in Minecraft. Again, this is just me making a fantasy novel right now. And you went outside, called your dad, no answer. Called Carney. Carney talked to you for like a couple of minutes, said, well, what are you on the phone with me? Have you called 911? Fucking call him. And then while you're on the phone with 911 and Carney at the same time on two different phones, your dad calls back because he missed a call. Returning your call. And then it got real awkward.
I think we're the detail here.
What's that?
The calls with Carney and Dad, weren't they on Lion's phone?
No. The 911 call was on.
Again. Oh, God. Finkel. Tinkle. Seriously, bro. Go get your brain checked. We're concerned. We are concerned about your brain. Yeah, is my guess.
How many times have they had this telephone conversation about how many phones and phones being in the truck while he's talking on
and who's called who and on what phone and yeah.
And Finkel still can't get it right.
No.
And these fucking assholes, I don't care if he's got 3 people in his chat or 180, they're sitting there listening to these idiots.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you people?
The same thing that's wrong with Mester. It's called, what do you guys call it? Hate boner? That's what it is. Hate boner. So dumb. Doc. Oh man. Doc, it's welcome to Doofus Crest. So I'll give you kind of a quick because there's someone also in here is one Honest Abe. Welcome. Give you a little quick rundown. So there are some players in this. Oh geez, let's see if I can do this real quick for you guys. Pictures. All right. So it starts off with this guy. Let me. Oops. There was an issue. Oh, well, screw you, jerkheads. All right. It starts off with a guy named Rabbit. Rabbit was married to, it actually kind of goes way back, Doc, to the whole Griftifer, you know about DirectD and Griftifer, right? So there is some key players in Doofus Crest, which is this guy on the screen. His name is Mester. I call him Mester. Other people call him Todd. So Mester and Griftifer hated each other. Well, they started out liking each other, and then they hated each other, and now they like each other. There's a bunch of players involved, but particularly what this is Mester was friends with this guy, Rabbit. Rabbit's wife unalived herself, and Rabbit found her. There are people who didn't like Rabbit, so they started accusing him of murking her. Mester here did not believe it. You can see a huge difference in his live streams from just even a year ago to now, is that he was very much pro Rabbit. And there was also this guy in this chat over here in Mester's is a guy named Food Dogs for Freedom, which is his name is Don Carney. Don Carney was friends with Rabbit, and I guess you would say business partners for a nonprofit that Rabbit started with his wife. Then Carney got caught stealing from Rabbit, which then Don Carney turned on Rabbit for stealing and getting kicked out of the Savage Saints. And Carney was up on Mester's panel praising Rabbit before he got caught stealing. Then couple, months go by, and this past November/December, Mester got called out for being a little bitch at a campfire, and he was embarrassed by the story, had a freak out, and ever since then he has had what the YouTube streets call a hate boner for Rabbit and anybody associated with Rabbit. So even people who were impartial to what was happening with Rabbit, like Muxter, Stonevet, some other people, he was friends with, or he was, in this little Doofus Crest universe with Killa, Boot, Rabbit, JJ. Mester even tried to, suck the balls of Direct D, MBK. And then when Mester started to become fucking cuckoo crazy and started accusing Rabbit of stealing, unaliving his wife, and all of these other things, he's just getting worse and worse and worse. And now he's back to being friends with Griftifer. So, did I forget anything? Oh, and the whole thing is that Mester is a sick fuck because he is getting joy and pleasure and excitement out of going over the 911 calls that Rabbit made when he found his wife, Andrea. And then this is also, he is now getting the joy and excitement out of Rabbit calling this girl Alicia. And this is the conversation.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt to know that every friend Todd's ever made on YouTube, which he's gone through about 50 of them on his channel, they all stab him in the back.
Right. And for you, Swag.
3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time card.
So, and then there's a little bunch of like little nuances in between. So that's where we are. And then, oh yeah, and mind you, is that Mester is racist, misogynistic, homophobic, pussy. I mean, there's things like this is a guy. Let me see if I can play these little clips for you. Doc, this is how he talks about his son who is gay. Oh, he's a narcissist too. This is how he talks about his son who is gay.
But redhead boys are just kind of a little fucking creepy. I think redhead boys are just, it's like dogs with two different color eyes. It's just a little off-putting. The only reason I know what the fuck a brony is because of my son, who's 100% a gay twink.
So, and then this is also how he feels about women.
Listen, I will tell you, there are things about people that practice Islam that I find to be very admirable. I think they don't put up with the same kind of bullshit that Christians put up with. When you're beating your wife, you have to, do it in a certain particular way according to Islam. Otherwise, no bueno. No bueno.
I get it, man. I bought a very interesting book that I'm going to start reading.
Listen, I'm really tired of I'm tired of like handling people that fucking called me good close personal friends, and then were fucking me in the back, stabbed me in the back, behind my back, the whole entire fucking time. Fuck you. Like, I'm not going to get emotional about it. Just fuck you. Fuck you. How about that? I got nothing for you but fucking the back of my hand. How about that?
Reading.
If it was Secret Agent Gal, I'd punch her in the fucking throat.
Apparently,
I will agree.
Everyone called Kaiser a murder burglar. I'm guessing there might be another murder burglar running around. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying. Maybe there's another murder burglar that we need to be curious about.
Yes, Buckster.
I will agree with Todd on one thing. The worst backstabbers are the ones that do it behind your back.
Fuckers. Yeah. So then now we just sit and we make fun of him for the things that he says because he's Doofus Crest galore. But also at the same time, he lacks self-awareness, and he thinks that what he is doing and what he has done and how he acts and how he behaves is completely normal. He thinks that we're the fucked up ones. So, everybody caught up? Did I miss anything other than like the little nuances?
Well, other than the fact that I love that his goal is 0 of 1.
Oh, he gets it. He got his goals back. Yeah. Oh, and the other thing too, Doc Scrolls, is he genuinely, legit, no bullshit, no, like this is not, I'm not fucking with your head or anything. He honestly thinks that he sees demons in people just wearing human skin suits. Like, legit believes it. Okay. Welcome to Doofus Crest, baby. Anything else, Muckster?
No, I think that covers the most of it.
Okay.
On Lion's phone. The 911 call was on Lion's phone. Write it down. The 911 call was on Lion's phone. The call with Carney and his dad were on the same because it was a call waiting beep. Okay? Call waiting beep, and then he transferred over.
Gotcha.
And then he had...
And how's Dad turning?
To silence his dad, or turn down the volume at least, and then tell his dad, I'll call you later after EMS gets here. I'll call you later. Dad, I'm on a recorded line. Knock it off or stop or whatever he said. Okay. Yep. And then he ended up getting back talking to Carney. He wanted Carney to reach out to his dad. While he was allegedly doing CPR frantically, he had time to look around the room, see things that were written, ask Carney to read passages in the Bible, chapter and verse, and also had the ability to share his dad's number with Carney, tell his dad's name. So how are you performing CPR nonstop where they had to pull you off of her, or the only one time you claimed you stopped was to go open the door and you flung it open and you ran back in and you jumped back on top of her and you're performing CPR? How are you performing CPR effectively and scrolling through your phone to find a contact to then share contact with Carney of your dad's number because he did not have that phone number? I'm assuming that would be the most efficient way of doing it with a shared contact, but you're not sitting there performing CPR trying to find the digits, trying to find the person you want to send it to, typing in the phone number one digit at a time, and then hitting send.
Did Has anybody heard either from Rabbit or Carney that Rabbit shared the number, or was that after EMS showed up? Oh, and if one honest Abe is Tiffahor, cool. Thanks for the view. But I'm not like Mester. I don't just sit and assume everybody has a sock account, but yes, Doc Scrolls. You just click it.
I mean, the more I look at this, what the fuck were these cops doing? What the fuck did they do? What investigation was actually conducted here?
And that's the narrative that he is now running with, that everybody else is running with, you know, all these anti-government people that Mester wants to get in good with, is now the cops, you know, botched the investigation. The ME botched the investigation, or the autopsy, and the SBI. Like, everybody botched everything. So.
But it's okay because Finkel and Ryder are on the case.
Don't forget Tinkle, Ryder, Six Jokes, Terry the Twink.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Don't forget. I mean,
Mr. Reenactment.
Yeah, the Say Law firm is on the case, and the potato investigators. Oh, and don't forget GT also.
He was surprised that someone had talked to him that recently. That shoots holes in his alibi. Oh, had talked to her that recently. Yeah. Okay. So again, the phone call was on her phone because he gave her number in the 911 call. Remember?
Yep.
Okay. So I want to make sure that we're not putting out wrong information. We've done and dusted this. We've established this. So okay, here we go.
Which he just put out a bunch of wrong information, but okay. Yes.
I know it's a third world country down there, but are you telling me 911 does not have caller ID? I mean, they don't see the number that's coming in from the phone?
I know the answer. Is this a rhetorical question?
Well, I mean, he's just making a big deal about what number he gave 911. It's like, I'm pretty sure it was on their screen anyway.
Just to verify.
Hello.
Hi, Doc. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
So
How's the noise? How's the sound check?
You're good. Everybody, this is Doc Squirrels.
This is me.
Yep, I know Doc Squirrels from over at DirectD. Doc, tell them, you know, just a little bit like about you and what kind of a doctor you are.
Okay. I am a licensed clinical health psychologist in 2 states.
Okay, I'm out.
Those states are California and Indiana. Guess who lives in Indiana? So I will not be commenting at all specifically on one of those individuals because they live in that state. I'm here for educational purposes only. I deal with suicide every single day. In fact, I have a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week channel for my patients to reach out to me and to seek help if they're in need of assistance. I put people probably on a monthly basis in the hospital when they are suicidal, and so suicide is a very, very important thing to me.
Yeah. So you have landed in the the area of where it's kind of a big topic over here, especially on my channel, because people don't understand what it's like to go through it. And until you've been through it, whether it's a family, a friend, you know, a loved one, until you've been through it, I don't think anybody should speak on it. Or if you're not versed in it, you shouldn't speak on it, because it just gets people in a lot of trouble, which is what's happening to good old Mester.
Exactly. You know, the biggest problem that I see in my profession is, one, there's a lot of people who come after the fact. They think that they could fix things. They think there's something that they've done. They think that there's people who caused it. It doesn't work that way. It's not a one-to-one. People who do this to themselves don't do it because of one person. They don't do it because of any other person. They do it because of themselves. There is no perpetrator in these situations, and the individual is by themselves. They're alone. It's the darkest place you could ever be in. And so when you pass in this way, to have people sitting there and speculating about all of these things, it's absolutely hideous. It's horrible.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, because as you know, I'm a hospice nurse, but I'm not really a hospice nurse. Shh, keep it on the down low. Is that I deal with, even though people are prepared, and we prepare them as much as we can, you know, for their passing, there is still a lot of undealt with emotions. You know, they're still angry, they're still upset, they're still figuring out why. And especially when it comes to, you know, committing, you know, unaliving yourself.
Absolutely. And you know, if I were to comment on that, I worked very heavily. I still do. I work very heavily in a very medical field. I won't comment on a very specific specialty I have, because it honestly would completely identify who I am. But I am one of the few people who have dealt with assisted suicide in the jurisdictions where it is legal. I've absolutely helped my patients who were in that situation do things that very many people would probably find spiritually problematic. They would probably find it to be against their religious values. And, you know, I started out my journey having those views too. And to this day, I don't have those views. I've helped many people remove medical intervention so that they could pass peacefully. I've helped very many people go through the process of assisted suicide in the jurisdictions that are legal to do that. And my views have shifted significantly, and particularly the only one who could do wrong in this situation are the living.
Right. Yeah. So a lot of people, this turned into a, you know, Doofus Crest, like, heavy topic, but I think it's kind of good because they do go back and watch these. So it's nice to have someone up here who is an expert in it, instead of just people opining. But a lot of people say that Rabbit should, like David Wayne says, Rabbit should have reacted this way or that way. Why is Rabbit acting so strange after what he found? Like that kind of stuff. They're saying that his behavior was out of the quote norm.
Listen, there's zero chance that any person will react the same way. To speculate that somebody's guilty, to speculate that somebody caused harm to somebody, to go through these like accusatory motions are only disparaging to the memory of the person who passed. There's zero evidence that somebody did something wrong. There's zero evidence that anyone who is connected to this actually hurt somebody. And it sounds malicious, and it's at the expense of the dearly departed. And it's absolutely 100% sick and disgusting venture that these individuals are engaged in.
Another thing is that I've just lost my question. Somebody, I don't remember. When it comes, so you've been, kind of updated in a little bit, and you haven't really heard, they spent 10 separate live streams going over the 911 call and scrutinizing anything and everything that was said, and taking pleasure in it. Like you can just see, I don't know, you haven't watched.
No,
many
I
of
don't
it.
watch. I don't watch generally specific.
But when it comes to something like that, how would you approach someone who isn't seeing what they're doing? And not even just, we're not just talking about Mester, but we're talking about anybody. Is that if you see someone who is not grasping reality, how do you help them? How do you kind of get them to, look inside and go, whoa, what I'm doing is really disgusting?
Well, it's low-hanging fruit, right? Like somebody who takes their own life leaves a lot of questions unanswered, and it's an easy way to try to demonize your enemies. It's the wrong thing to do. It's morally apprehensible. In these circumstances, a lot of enemies become friends. They become connected. And if you don't have compassion for somebody who lost somebody very important to them and they're struggling, it's absolutely absurd. We can't listen to phone calls and determine what's going on. We don't know the state of mind of the person who found the other person. We don't know if they are struggling themselves and they're angry because they felt the other person took an easy way out. And all of these things are completely reasonable emotions. There's no unreasonable emotion at all when you find somebody you actually care for and you actually love who has taken their own life. There's no reasonable emotion, because the very first thing that you're going to feel and you're going to experience is this my fault? Is this something that I did that I did? Did I cause this by, that time I raised my voice, that time I wasn't understanding of something that they did? There is zero reason to go through and demonize the people who are left behind. And if the police can't find a reason, or if the police can't find something to pin on somebody, as we all know, they're going to do it. And so if you're speculating on somebody else committing this crime, you've made a grave moral error. You've now put yourself in between that person and whatever judgment you think they have coming, and that's on you.
Let me ask you this.
Oh, go ahead, Maxter. Yeah.
What can friends do to help the survivor?
That's an amazing question. The survivors, and particularly the closest one to the departed, they are absolutely, completely going to go through a huge emotional cycle. Anger. We talk about the bargaining cycle, right? The cycle of grief. So we have anger, denial, bargaining, acceptance, all and there's 5 stages. And forgive me, it's I don't remember all of those stages, because the actual study that was conducted is on somebody who's dying themselves. That cycle is not for the people who are left behind. And when people dig into that research, they'll see that specific linear pattern occurs only in the people who are diagnosed with terminal illnesses, which is what I specialize in, not the people who are left behind or the people who are dealing with grief from that loss. For everyone else, it's completely random. And you're going to see if you really, really, really find somebody who's in that circumstance where the person that they love most on this earth has taken their own life, the only thing that we can do is continually check in on them. They're not going to be active in trying to reach out for help. They need people who are just going to be there and to open the door and to say, "Hey, look, we need you right now. Like, we need you. We need you." And that's the connection is with that person. And to avoid being connected with the departed, to avoid being connected to the situation itself, that person is facing that every single day, and they're facing questions in their own mind that you can never ever answer for them.
Mm-hmm. And the other one is depression, which is the one I deal with in hospice.
Exactly. So in the world of mental health, let me also talk about my particular specialty. I work with chronic and severe medical anxiety, so people who are scared to go to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently writing a book. I won't say what the topic is. I'm sure you'll all read it when it's published, or at least it will probably be in the awareness of most of you when it is published.
It'll
The
probably be something that they'll have us read in hospice.
it actually probably will be because the concept of suicide is often viewed as a severe product of depression. And in my experience, people who are depressed, they end their lives in a very justifiable way, and there's very little aftermath like this. The reality is that a vast majority of people who commit suicide suffer from extreme anxiety disorders. They're terrified, they're afraid of the world. People who are depressed often don't have the energy to kill themselves. They're often subject to the medical community, they have hospice doctors, and in those circumstances, people are often given the tools. And they have been in jurisdictions where there is not assisted suicide, there is not compassionate end of life acts. Those people often get excessive doses of morphine while they're under hospice. They beg for it, as any hospice nurse probably knows. It's it's a topic that occurs frequently and often if it's a family member who delivers that fatal dose of a central nervous system depressant that suppresses the breathing of an already inhibited person of breathing and they pass. They live with immense shame and guilt, even though it was the right thing to do, even though they believe, and I'm sure Mester, with his intense religious beliefs, probably doesn't view it that way. But I can assure every single person that there is no person that the topic I just talked about has not touched.
Yeah. And in hospice, we actually, a lot of the patients don't beg for it, for the morphine, at least here in Arizona. I know about, the assisted suicide or humane euthanasia in California. I wish we had it here because a lot of times it's really hard to watch patients struggle, with their chronic illness or, just the death process in general. And especially terminal restlessness, it's really hard to
Right.
control. And we don't consider it, the lethal dose of morphine that they give. They just we consider it, that you got them into their comfort to where they could pass. We don't do lethal doses. A lot of people would be surprised to find out, that 5 milligrams of morphine every hour is pretty much, the standard out here. It can go up to, 20 milligrams per hour, but you have to remember is that it's sublingual. So they don't get the full, they only get about 20% of the dose that they're getting.
Wow. I did not know that. So in Arizona, they're not giving. So in my experience, at least in California, the lethal dose pre-existed our Compassionate End of Life Act. I don't know
you guys are a
how
lot
legally they did it.
different. Yeah, you guys are a lot different out there. You guys have the ability, you know, for the, like you said, you know, the humane euthanasia. You guys have that ability. So your end of life is a lot different than it is out here.
And my job in that process, so to make people familiar with it, you need 3 doctors to sign off in the state of California. And this has been challenged by religious groups. The Secretary of State actually challenged it when it first occurred, and I had a bunch of patients who were put on hold, and it was miserable. It was horrible in that brief period of time where it was put on hold after it was passed. And in that experience, what I learned was it's really hard. It's very hard for family members. I would say in my experience, it doesn't matter how prepared you are. If you're familiar and you understand that decision, there is no emotional reaction that you can expect from any person. And one of the biggest problems in our society is expecting people to react differently. And one of those key indicators, one of the cues that you can tell somebody is suffering from something is when you see somebody who's laughing. The biggest, and in my experience, the people who administer those circumstances, the people who are familiar with their family member or a loved one who's finally gone, they're torn through an ambivalent emotional experience where they're happy, they're sad, they're happy. And if somebody is depressed and they finally get the energy to do what they've longed to do for a very long time, I've not, even though people are like, oh, I never saw these signs, I've not met a single person who's reacted in the same way every single time. There's grief, there's remorse, there's anger, there's frustration. And if you're going to say that anger and frustration is not a reasonable experience for somebody whose significant other just took their life, you're wrong. You're just wrong.
One of the things that is being speculated and being opined, I use that in quotation marks, around this, when it comes to unaliving yourself, is that everything is normal. Like, the reason why they're running with this narrative that Rabbit, you know, unalived her is because she talked about the future. She, you know, she made doctor's appointments. She did things in the future. Can you tell us about how that is pretty typical?
Yeah, so one of the things that I specifically use as indicators, because I'm not somebody who's just going to let a patient do this to themselves. My specific role in the process is to determine whether they're doing this because of a mental health disorder. We don't allow people to do this for a mental health disorder. Although it's not illegal, we don't actually want somebody who's suffering from a mental health disorder to take their own life. So we rule that out. Now, I kind of got distracted. Can you repeat the question?
Sorry, it's about how those who are going to end their lives, not in the humane euthanasia way, but, you know, in the general, is that they act like they make plans.
Right. Okay. So yes, I remember now. So specifically, there's a big difference between value-oriented future plans and the actual just rudimentary elements of life. So at my practice, where I own and run the practice, I do not allow my supervised clinicians to utilize future doctor's appointments or future appointments at all to justify a protective factor in suicidality. there's a big difference between those things and, you know, somebody seeking a job that they've been looking for their whole life, or engaging in creative endeavors that are specific to their personal drive to live. There's a big difference between the rudimentary, specific functional elements of somebody's life and making DMV appointments and stuff like that. Now, we have specific risk factors that we identify if somebody is getting rid of their lifelong possessions, or they're doing specific things that are a little unusual for somebody in their stage of life to do. But we typically avoid conflating personal driven, future oriented things from the specific mundane doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, and those specific elements. And so I would say if somebody has future doctor's appointments, future appointments like at the DMV, future appointments at various unimportant, non-connected to their will to live, those are not indicators of safety elements. I have not lost myself specific patients to suicide that were not on my radar for that. And what I mean by on my radar, because I'm a health psychologist, it means that there are people who come in, they want to do this because of a terminal medical diagnosis. And I'll correct my language because I know I'm not used to being on a
No, you're okay.
broadcast. They take their life because of something that we give them the ability to do that for. And so when those people are in my office, they go through the motions. They spend their time doing it. Now, a specifically depressed person doesn't have the energy to do all of that. And one of the big key indicators is we warn against giving somebody a SSRI or a medication like Wellbutrin, which if you're familiar with what that is, it's a very different kind of antidepressant. And if somebody is very depressed and they have suicidal ideation, and you give them a medication that generates energy and volitional engagement, they are absolutely at a higher risk of completing that act. And it's
That
super,
finally
super
makes sense.
dangerous.
I have wondered about that for so long, that one of the risks they always have for antidepressants is suicidal tendency. Finally, somebody said something that made sense.
Yeah, if you look at the statistics, over 75% of the people who end their own lives every single year
on an SSRI.
They're on an SSRI, and they often have an anxiety disorder. It is far more likely that the OCD, which is my specialty, OCD is the single biggest diagnosis for people who commit that action. Not depression, not anything else. It exists on the World Health Organization's top 10 most debilitating conditions for that exact reason. And depression often requires an outside intervention. It requires something that generates the will to do that. And there's a big difference. I want to address this because what you said, Savage, there's a big difference between somebody who's suffering from a terminal medical illness and somebody who's just suffering from depression. The key elements of these things are hugely different. And if somebody is sick and they're dying, or they're sick and they can't do what actually generates their will to live, there's a far greater likelihood that these people will actually go through with the process. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yes, it makes complete sense. There is also a lot of times and that, you know, I have been through quite a few unalivings, and almost, and especially, like with Rabbit going through it with his wife, is that there were a lot of times people have said that, Rabbit kept her alive longer than she had planned. Can that be, something? Because I've also heard that about the people that I knew. Can that,
That it,
you know?
that I think a better way to reframe that is
Mhm.
that the person endured far more suffering than they wanted to because of how much they cared about other people, right? It would be absurd to give the power over somebody's life to somebody who didn't participate in ending their life, right? We would hope, and I'm not a religious person at all, Todd, if you
Mhm.
want to jump that in there. But we would give people the place, right, to choose what they want for themselves. And if we give people the volition and the personal agency to make decisions for themselves, we would say that they found probably hope in somebody else. They found will in somebody else. And again, we find it very problematic for somebody to end their own life because of a mental health disorder, because we view those as very repairable. In my world, I'm often the last person. So this is probably very important. I have many patients who ask this question all the time. Can I just end my life? And again, I see very high acuity OCD patients. And I tell them, no, you're not allowed to. And they're like, why? Other people are allowed to. And I say, listen, what you have has a very easy cure. It's not gonna, when I say it's easy, it's not gonna be easy for you, but it's a bright golden path like the yellow brick road. We know how to solve this problem. We know what OCD is, and there are very specific treatments that involve, and for those who wonder what that is, it's exposure and response prevention. Essentially, we have to expose the person to the really feared stimulus over and over again and teach them that it's safe. They learn to
Yep.
habituate themselves. And in reality, you're not going to find this in your normal mental health practice. And I want to be very clear. I am not your normal mental health provider. I am a board certified advanced clinical psychologist. If I said my specialties, people would be able to identify myself because I sit at an intersection that very few people sit at.
You're good.
And the reality is that when somebody asks a question about that, the risk factor drops significantly. If you hear people who are willing to talk to you about that, I'm much less concerned. And I
Mhm.
deal with very high acuity patients, so a lot of suicidal ideation. And I'm not going to speak to exactly like the circumstances that I've had, but there have been people in my office who say, "Hey, I'm going to kill myself tonight," or "I'm going to end my life tonight." Sorry.
Mhm.
And I talk to them, I hear them, and I'm like, "Listen, what do you want from me? What do you want from the world? What are you missing right now? Why are you at this acuity level? Because I'm not scared that you're actually going to do this because you're talking to me about this. And it's a cry for help. And so if you have somebody who's willing to talk about their psychological process in these moments, it's very unlikely. So the people around them consistently say, I had no idea. I didn't have an idea. And that is by design because people who have the energy and are actually going to go through with it, they're very fearful of talking to other people. They actually are engaging in plans that will ruin things that are very important to them. And so it's important to know that nobody around him, Rabbit, nobody around somebody who's actually going to go through with this is going to see these signs because the person is hiding it with every single thing that they have. Imagine you have loved ones, you have people you care about, you have so many people around you, and none of those people want to see this happen, and you feel horrible about trying to make it happen. The amount of shame and guilt that occurs in that person expounds. And so if you're berating and criticizing somebody because their loved one was able to do this action, you're wrong. You're absolutely 100% wrong. There is nobody left behind who should be castorized and should be lambasted in front of the public crowd because their wife, their loved one took their own life and they did not do something about it because that person spent all of their energy to try to hide it from the other person. Because if we even smell it with the slightest amount, every single state in this country will put you away for 3 days. In California, we call that a 5150.
Same here.
In Florida, it's called the Berry Act, right? I think I don't practice in Florida, but I'm pretty familiar with Bam Margera and these cases that occur. Some states are really problematic in this process, and people know that, especially people who are finally successful. So the leading theory on suicidality is called the Joyner model. This was developed by Thomas Joyner. If anyone wants to look at this. Thomas Joyner proposes that thwarted belongingness, perceived isolation, and the acquired capability to commit self-harm are required for a person to be successful in suicide. And so that means nobody is going to end their own life unless they've met these characteristics. And that means you have to believe that you're a burden on every single person that you care about. You have to believe that nobody is connected to you and understands your life in any stretch of any stretch of your imagination. You just completely view every single thing that they do as isolating you, and it's probably because of that perceived burdensomeness. And then on top of that, we all have a natural instinct for preservation of our own life. And because of that, you just can't do this. You have to engage in something to minimize these factors. Now, I've certainly experienced people who use alcohol to a great extent to completely remove the acquired capability for self-harm, but the modal amount of times that somebody attempts to end their own life is two, and the vast majority of people who actually did that process is they did it on the third try, and it would be very, very hard to find exceptions to that example who were not completely inebriated on alcohol or some other substance at that time.
And that's one of the things about Andrea is that she was, a heavy drinker, even self-admitted, and even Rabbit has said that she was an alcoholic. She had so many chronic illnesses that they couldn't help with. There was no she had been to so many specialists and so many doctors, and she used alcohol to self-medicate. And one of the biggest things that they are talking about is that her the lab results from the autopsy showed no alcohol in her system.
So I would say, first and foremost, negative evidence is not evidence of anything. It's not. How many times did this person try to consume enough substances to accomplish the task? How many times, like, listen, we live in a country where due process is important because due process is important. And
Mm-hmm.
I would say first, it's highly unlikely that this person was successful on the first attempt. Even if we don't know about the attempts, some of those attempts could be the excessive alcohol consumption. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I can tell you, I've drank many times. I've drank with people who have not committed this act, but with people who it's developed through the process, and maybe the acquired capability from self-harm comes from medical interventions and the amount of times they have to deal with doctors and engaging in specific things where they think they're going to expire in that process. And we look at things as very multidimensional. So, for instance, I'm a veteran. Todd, I'm a veteran. I give you the credit of being a veteran. I know you're gonna I know you're gonna take clips from this. You're gonna put it on your channel, and you're gonna try to piece it apart and figure out who I am. Come at me. the, the specifics here are that, let's say you go to war and you lose a lot of your friends, right? You see death, you see violence, you play violent video games, although I'm going to be clear, there's not a significant amount of evidence specifically with video games, but exposure to death and to despair is absolutely a predicator for acquired capability for self-harm. And if you don't believe the studies and the model that I'm talking about, look it up. The APA, every single person will adhere to the Joyner model. The Columbia, the CSSI, let me say it that way, because those S
Mm-hmm.
letters might be blocked. That is a very specific questionnaire that every single hospital and every single place that manages this type of ideation, which we call SI, will
Mm-hmm.
will be very familiar with. And what we're
Mm-hmm.
trying to seek is information regarding how many times have you been exposed to this thought? How long? Having this sort of ideation for a very long time is absolutely an indicator here. If I get a patient who has been on SI watch for 3 years and they keep going in and out of it, just that experience alone is exposure to this process. And we can never tease apart these details. It is perceived burdensomeness. So somebody who has a lot, and as you said, a very large list of chronic health conditions,
Mm-hmm.
that's very, very common. That is
Mm-hmm.
a burden on the people that you love, the people that you care about. Second, perceived social isolation, right? So thwarted belongingness, perceived social isolation. Um, that simply comes from believing that nobody knows what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows what you're going through, and it's all internal. It's an internal cyclical process that has nothing to do with the people around you. And then the last element is we have the acquired capability for self-harm. And if somebody had a childhood with borderline personality and they committed cutting, they self-harmed themselves in some way, or maybe somebody gets a whole bunch of tattoos. There's just a complete spectrum of how we accomplish the acquired capability for self-harm. So if somebody's completely sober, it doesn't surprise me, and it doesn't give me pause.
Same. Yeah. I I also, not only have been in hospice for as long as I have, but I also worked in addiction. So the the SI part that you talk about, is one of the things is we always ask them, do you have any SI? And if they say yes or no, the next one is, do you have a plan? And if they don't have a plan, it's kind of one of those where, okay, we're going to, kind of keep an eye on you. But if they're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do this, and they lay out what they're going to do, you are now one of our high acuities.
Absolutely. So across the states, for anyone who's listening, there is a privilege to report. So kind of review this in as much of a layman's terms as I can. So most states have mandatory reporters. A hospice nurse is probably a mandatory reporter. These things exist for child abuse, elder harm, and there's statutory requirements where you have to report these things. This varies by state to state, and in most states, the suicidal, the self-harm, the harm to yourself, the ending your own life, that is not actually a compelled, you have to report this. Most people do, and in many states, that is actually not true. It is a privilege. You are supposed to guard this information with your life. You're supposed to not try to ruin this person's personal experience just because at some low moment in their life, they're indicating to you that they have this ideation. And so in my experience in the community in very low acuity settings, they treat this ideation as a time bomb. Somebody can say, oh, I'm thinking about this, and you're probably going to get the police called on you for them to do an evaluation of a 5150. However, the law in California specifically, and in most states, differs from that. The law situates itself in a very interesting spot. That spot is you report it only if you have suspicion and you fear for that person's life and they have reported a plan to you. Because the actual circumstance here is you have to have a reason to break confidentiality. Because in my world, confidentiality is the most important thing that we have with a patient. The ability for somebody to come in and to talk completely freely about everything that they have. And if you're constantly calling PERT in my location or a psychiatric emergency response team to come and evaluate the person, you'll have no rapport. That person's not going to talk to you about anything. You're not going to be able to do anything in their life. And so we have to weigh the risks with the possible benefits of seeking therapy. And that's very important.
And my reporting, I was in, working with the, in the addiction in a facility. So, I had my doctor. These were just the assessment questions that we had to ask. So my reporting would go to the doctor, which of course you have to report to the doctor because I can't do anything without a doctor. But we never called, like you said, we never called any kind of like crisis hotline or anything. So we would just let the doctor know, and the doctor would come down and speak with them. It was like, hey, I've got this patient. They gave me a plan. I'm concerned. And he would come immediately and speak with the patient.
Right. And that's probably the way that it should be, because one, if we were to respond to every time somebody reported this type of ideation in our offices, we wouldn't be able to work with the person.
I was going to say, you're not going to get anything done.
No. And honestly, there's a negative feedback cycle if you respond to it all the time, because there are conditions, borderline personality is one. I have suspicions that some characters in this story have this. No, not you, Todd. Some people in this story have this condition. And that condition generates people who are very emotionally volatile, They're constantly trying to use the idea of them being harmed as a way to get emotional reactivity from other people. And dialectical behavioral therapy is the indicated treatment for somebody with borderline personality disorder. And in my training, when I was learning about this and working with people who had borderline personality disorder so I could understand it, I would have patients who would regularly come to the office with tools of SI, with ropes, with tape, with pills. And before they would come into the group, there was no way they're bringing that into the group. They would have to throw it in a trash can. I would not respond to it. I just look at them and be like, okay, go sit down. Like, I'm not gonna, I'm not, I have to work very hard not to reward or reinforce from a psychological perspective in a positive way that I'm going to care for you more because you're evidencing to me these type of tendencies. It's hard sometimes, and providers really buck this type of treatment because it's scary, and you have a lot of patients who are telling you, I'm going to do this to myself. But the reality is that it's pretty limited. It's very, very limited. And if somebody is not using excessive medications, they haven't done this multiple times in the past, they don't have chronic illnesses, they aren't isolated because they have, very rare diagnoses, then I don't raise red flags. If I have a patient who has chronic illnesses, reports feeling isolated, and has had a significant history of parental abuse, partner violence, or anything along these lines, my flags start to actually raise in those cases. But without those specific histories, they don't, because quite often we respond very actively, we respond very loudly and immediately to these types of thoughts. And so it's actually a clinician's test to not overreact, to learn how to respond in a very measured and metered way. And so, from my experience working with people who are constantly in my office saying these things over the years, I would say if you're trying to demonize and castigate somebody who's lost somebody, you're absolutely 100% in the wrong.
Going off of, I could sit and I know that I don't know if, these 74 people in here are as intrigued as I am, but this stuff just fascinates me. When it comes to, somebody having, you can see somebody having, a mental health, problem, issue, or whatever, because you're versed in it. I can also a lot of times see it too. Might take me a lot longer than you, but how do you get someone who refuses to even seek, is something wrong with me? And they've been told, like, bro, buddy, like, friend.
I grew up, let me be clear. I'm white trash. I grew up in poor, impoverished communities. I've seen people who struggle with this. And Todd, pick up the book by Sebastian Junger, Tribe. Give it a read if you haven't done it. Everyone here should.
He hasn't even read, he's behind on the Daily Stoic, and he's only read a quarter of the Bible for a, good Christian man. So he's not going to read it.
It's boring as hell. I get it. I'm on your side for that, buddy. Like it's a long read. I've done the whole thing. I've also read the Quran. Like I don't even have the faith. Pick it up and just read it. Give it a read. Don't just read the New Testament. Read the whole thing. Give it a full read. And I'm not gonna belittle anyone's religious beliefs. I'm not. Now, I grew up in impoverished communities. I grew up in a cult. I'm not gonna talk about which one, but I did grow up in one. And the fact of the matter is that religious communities often demonize people who commit this. There's a YouTuber on the internet right now who I'm kind of fascinated with. He does a lot of shorts. He's an ex-Amish person, and I don't even know his name to describe it, but he's a preacher. He doesn't burden you with his religious views, but he definitely is just a beautiful person. I think his name is Eli Yoder. No, that could be the. I've read a lot of books. Little Boy Blue was Eli Yoder. I don't know what this guy's name is, but he was a truck driver. Um, he's often talking about this. His dad did this. His dad committed this act. And one of the things he talks about is how when you do this act in the Amish community, they bury your body facing the west and then they turn your head to face the east. They read a proclamation turning your body over to the devil, and it's inscribed on your headstone, and you're put on the opposite side of the cemetery of the other Amish folk. This guy, in a beautiful, beautiful description of his father's end of life, was that he was found after consuming pills, kneeling at his bed. And so this gentleman chooses to believe that his father went to heaven because at the last moment he pled his case. And I agree with him. And if he ever sees this, I don't believe in heaven. I don't believe in hell. And I believe that these circumstances, these beliefs, these processes are in service of the living. They're in service of the people who have brain waves to process these. And if you want to know my opinion, every single person should be allowed to process these things how they need to process them, because life sucks and you got to get through it. And if somebody you really, really care about does this to themselves, you have to figure out a way to carry on. You got to learn it. This probably will not out who I am, but if you're in the mental health field, you probably have heard of the adverse childhood experiences studies. I'm intimately connected to those studies. And one of the things that we find as being one of the biggest problems for somebody in the future is having a parent who did this to themselves. Imagine being a child. Imagine being a child whose parent did this. Todd, you going to tell me that that person was in the wrong because they threw fits? You're gonna tell me that that person was wrong because they didn't listen to their parents? I know what the Bible says. Honor your parents,
Honor
that
thy
thy
mother
days may be
and thy
long.
father. Yeah.
Yeah, that thy days may be long. I know what that says, but are you going to look that person in the eye, that 6-year-old, that 7-year-old, that 15-year-old, and tell them this is your fault? And if you're not going to do that for that kid, are you going to do that for the 30-year-old husband, the 42-year-old partner? You have to measure how we respond to these things. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I tend to believe fortunately, we live in a country where we've recognized that these passive bullshit ways of looking at evidence aren't sufficient. And Todd, are you really going to continue to castigate and to demonize a human being who is suffering because of this act? And does your God want you to do that? Are you gonna reduce yourself to an Amish community that banishes people because they looked at a cell phone or did something against their ordinum? Are you really going to say, this suffering person, regardless of whatever the hell they did, is going to suffer. Because I can tell you right now, God did not punish David to death.
And
God did not punish anyone for that action.
Yeah. And the
To
sad
death.
part,
Let me be clear.
yeah. And the sad part is yes, he's going to, because it all stems from hate. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only thing that does this. Because like who are you? Who are you to tell somebody that what they did was wrong?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm sure, Todd, you've been deployed. We have, is it 22 a day? 22 a day.
Yeah.
22 a day.
Mm-hmm.
And yet there's this person, and I don't know who Rabbit is. I've heard Benghazi Rabbit. I'm guessing that
Yes,
is
that's
this
him.
individual. Right.
Yes.
And so I'm guessing this is a veteran too. So it's
No.
not somebody. No, he's not a veteran. Okay.
Rabbit is not a veteran. No.
Okay, I guess. But I'm 100% certain, whether you're a veteran or not, there's somebody in your life who's taken their life. And if you didn't criticize them and judge them and guess that they were responsible for it, why are you doing it here? Why who the hell are you to do that?
And that's what we, as the Doofus Crest, opine on, is that he has never seen battle. He has never seen, quote, war. He's never had somebody, unalive themselves. So this is why it is so frustrating to a lot of people. And the reason why we make fun of him is because the things he says are just so outrageous and outlandish because he doesn't know.
You know, one of my best friends is currently in the middle of the desert right now and training our war fighters in case they have to go to Iran.
Mm-hmm.
I very much detest the principal, and it's an army person. Todd, I know you're army. Fucking soldiers, I know who you are. Oh, he was a
Oh, yeah.
Marine? No.
No, sorry. You're right. He is Army. I get confused because he just embellishes so much of what he does that I get confused.
He doesn't look like a Marine. He doesn't sound like a Marine. Nope.
Yeah, he's
No,
Army. Yeah.
he's a soldier.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sailor. He's a soldier. Marines are Marines, and there's other ones, but they don't matter.
Uh-oh.
So, I'm only making fun of the Air Force because of my own personal experiences, because I was in naval aviation. So it's in fun, it's in love. I love the Air Force, but yeah, you guys aren't in this.
It's military. That's another thing too, is that, in the military, you guys just all jab at each other. It doesn't matter, at each other, at different units, at different entities. That's just how the military is. We do it in nursing too. Like, we talk shit about the ER. We talk, that's just the way it is. But it's all just in jest, and he doesn't understand what it's like to bust balls.
It's sad because in my experience, we're all just doing this together. I've had specific incidences where I thought that the Air Force is soft, but every single one of those persons signed that paper. They put their life on the line. I have zero contempt for anyone in the Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
Zero contempt for anyone who's in the Army. I understand, for me, I was deployed. I lived in Japan for a long time. In Japan, I experienced a lot of in command SI. I experienced a lot of people who actually went through with it. But I've been deployed and I've been to places where that number went up and we felt a certain way about it because it made our lives harder. It actually challenged us. We had people who accidentally expired because they decided to take a swim in the water that we had. And if you're familiar where we've been for the last, I don't know, 100 million years, it seems like it's really hot. It's in the middle of deserts. And so we had a lot of people who maybe accidentally expired because they wanted to go for a swim in a water supply. That's a specific thing to my circumstance. I don't know if that was actually pretty common in the military at the time, because I want to be clear, I was not an aviator, I was not an officer. I I was not a mental health provider when I was in the Navy. I was a wrench turner and I did very different things than I do now. And so my experience in that world was mostly just being informed of what happened. And I find it very odd that somebody who lived through that experience where our people were dropping like flies, not because of enemy fire, but because our lives actually legitimately sucked 24/7, for them to sit back and to start blaming other people. We saw it all the time, and it was devastating. Just like I said with these kids with the adverse childhood experiences, you're angry at the person, you're mad. There's 20 of you, and one of the people who is supposed to help you clean up and make sure everything is okay decided they didn't have to do that anymore. And you go through an entire mix of emotions that nobody can predict. One of the saddest things in my life and what I struggled with and created my own mental health problems is my grandfather, who was the closest person to me ever in my life. He was suffering from congestive heart failure. I was 12 years old. And so I had moved away from California at the time. I lived in Northern California. I'd moved to Indiana. And so I was 14 when I came back to be with my grandpa. And when I walked into the room, he said crazy stuff. And I laughed at him when he was talking. He was like, "Oh, you're a pilot." I'm like, "I'm 14 years old. What are you talking about?" And he was like, "Well, you flew on a plane and you had a ticket, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "So you're a paper pilot?" And I was like, "Okay." He's got something there where he can fix this. 4 days later, he passed away, and I happened to be the one who watched him take his last breath because I wouldn't I wouldn't even look away. He was so important to me. And I laughed when he expired. I laughed, I ran and told my grandma, and I can assure anyone who's here that that was not a joyous laugh. Laughter is from anxiety. Think about your comedians. They trick you and they generate an anxious response that causes a person to laugh. It's about timing and it's a beautiful skill and we need it. We need it to help us get through this shit. And nobody should be picking on Benghazi. Um, unless you have evidence, shut the fuck up because you're the problem.
Yeah, and that's the other person up here, Muckster. Are you still here?
No.
Okay. Muckster actually wasn't. They say on YouTube is there's no dog in the fight. I have no dog in the fight. And Muckster is one of those who didn't have a dog in the fight. So he heard it from, all sides. He did it. He didn't do it. We should be, letting her rest and we should be, he's heard it all. And Muckster was the one who was like, I'm going to wait. And so when the, conclusion of the investigation and the autopsy came out, where it says self-inflicted, it was like, okay. And now because of their hate, they're thinking, well, this is now evidence. This is new evidence. This is new evidence. And it's like, it's not new evidence. It's just you guys, quote, opining.
Okay, Ryder.
Yeah.
Got it. I got it, right? Like these idiots are situating themselves between whatever creator and whatever judgment they believe they have coming and whatever fucking fire is burning below them. Because who are you to judge? And I know what your book says about this, Todd. I know exactly what it says. And if you think you haven't gotten there yet, so maybe you should go take a look at what your book says about this. Because if you're going to stand in judgment of your fellow man, let's see how that works for you, right? Like maybe you can't be a part of a community because they don't view this the same way as you. And back to the Amish thing. If you're going to sit in judgment of your fellow man, you better be willing to take on that judgment if you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm not a religious person, but I sure as hell don't want that liability on my back. And I'm going to be honest, I've spent most of my professional career, and because I grew up, as I said, as white trash, I don't know how to judge another person. I don't know how to do it. I don't know why people feel so compelled to cast their opinions about somebody else's worthiness, I guess is a good way to put it. And, I don't know Benghazi Rabbit. I don't know him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very socially open person. I don't care what you like, what you want to do. If you're fun, let's hang out. But if you're going to judge people, not in my presence.
Right.
I don't care if I know the person. I don't know. I'm not going to do it. And from a clinical perspective, in my opinion, if you have a psychologist, a mental health professional, psychiatrist who is casting judgment, they're as good to you as a heart surgeon who recoils at the sight of blood. And if you're familiar with John Travolta, he's the one who coined that.
Yeah. Yeah, it absolutely amazes me because you and I have such different perspectives, with dealing, and I could be assuming, but from what I'm gathering is that we kind of have a different perspective on those who don't deal with death and dying all the time, where me is in nursing, I'm taught not to judge anyone until they're in my, what you did before you became my patient or before you became my friend or within my orbit or my presence, whatever, I don't care about, because who you are now is the person that I'm looking at. And I don't take things as serious as a lot of these YouTubers. It's just YouTube. But in my daily life, it is a chip in my windshield. I don't care. Like, I am dealing with a family who is going through the most horrible thing right now in their life. This chip in my windshield is not something to get mad about.
Right. And if we look at that, it's probably a far more interesting psychological construct. It doesn't matter, like, I'm going to frame it this way, Todd. It doesn't matter how enraged and ridiculous you get, nobody's going to listen to you.
Right.
Right? Like manufacturing a bunch of emotional content is not going to increase your viewership. It's going to make people despise you more. And, I don't know if his viewership has continued to increase, but from my perspective, that would be unusual because no human wants to put up with that. And if they are, it's just people manufacturing hate through these cycles. I recognize I am a very familiar face on Christopher Ruff's channel. If you know who I am, I was not a familiar face when he was cop watching. I was a very outspoken critic of his tactics. And the reason for that is because it's so hypocritical. It's so ridiculous for us to constantly interject ourselves into these situations where we don't know anything about it, and to use language. And particularly the thing that I had against Ruff in his cop watching days was that he generated some reaction from the police on purpose. You can have whatever opinion you have on that particular topic. My opinion is that that hurts our cause. I care about a lot of things. There's a YouTuber who outed my name, who that was able to get under control for a brief time. He went to jail for doxing people, and I was on his side. He literally outed me after I had provided money for his legal defense, and Chris was on my side. We didn't even like each other at that point. We fucking hated each other. We literally were not friends. I did not like Chris. I thought he was an obnoxious person. And the person that didn't like me and was the one who prevented my name from being publicized. And the one who was supposedly my friend and I had donated a lot of money to posted my name flat out on the internet for people to see who I was. And so, yeah.
And that's what they, that's what, the good old Doofus Crest players do is, that Heather girl went running and, just they all of a sudden welcomed her with open arms and, gave them all of these little nuggets that they think are important, which she doesn't have any of it right, and they just lap it up.
Right. And that's, that's the problem with YouTube. These people don't actually take the time to explore, investigate, and to study these things, right? You can say whatever you want because, honestly, I'm going to defend that right. Freedom of speech is 100% important to me. Freedom of movement is 100% important to me. The reason I'm in this community is not because I like cop watching. It's not because I like First Amendment audits. It's not because of anything along those lines. The reason I'm in this community is because I actually love the fucking United States. We're one of the oldest countries in the entire world, and morons that say we're a young country, you're wrong. Our government is one of the oldest in the entire world. The philosophy and the principles by which the United States exists is one of the oldest that is currently continuing on Earth, and most of the countries copied us after we did this, not before. We might say the American culture is a very new culture. Sure, absolutely 100%. But I challenge you to find, and there's only one that is an older government than our government. Rome lasted 500 years. Greece lasted 800 years. We are only halfway there. And if you're not willing to make sure that these principles, the pursuit of happiness and life and liberty and security and these things, if you're not interested in those principles, cool. You're watching the internet because you want shock value. But there's very few people that I can say I vetted. I've spent hours on the phone with Christopher Ruff, and I'm very sure that his exact philosophy is a philosophy that every single person who's put on those boots and wore that flag would agree with. And if you're not willing to sit down because this guy spent his life in jail or prison because he's a felon and he's a degenerate, because that is who Christopher Ruff is, you're not going to give him a second chance. You're not an American. And if you're going to find reason and rationale to put somebody in jail, Ryder and Todd, if you're going to manipulate the system and try to put your fellow man behind bars based on principles that you don't even believe in, you're fucking scum. You're scum. I don't care. You know, you have to protect your enemies. You have to make sure that this all-powerful system doesn't take people like Ruff, doesn't disparage people for their words and their communication. That is your responsibility as an American, because that's what we do. I don't care who you are. If you breathe and you have a birth certificate from the United States, I don't want fucking police to do a single thing to you unless you deserve it. I'll stand up for you. And the thing that I saw was that's Ruff. That's Chris. That's not Todd. That's not Ryder. That's not these guys that are like, oh, look at these loopholes. Let's get this fucker in jail. You're no better than a politician.
Yeah. Muxer, I'm sure that you have probably... Are you okay there?
Yeah, I agreed with most of what he said. The earlier discussion about suicide, I've been saying the same stuff for months.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't have a degree for people to listen to. I do have one thing though that you just said. I want to question why you qualified having a birth certificate that says you were born in this country.
I want to be fair. I don't qualify that. I live by the border. I live right by the border. I don't believe that it's limited to just us. The reason I said that is because Todd's a fucking racist, and I was talking to him.
Okay.
And I am not 100% white. And my family is a family of immigrants. I'm a second generation American.
Aren't we all immigrants?
That's why
We just lose them?
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, did I lose or did he?
we ought to continue that. You know, there's less new blood. Probably biggest commodity the United States has to offer the world is our education system.
Doc, you're going in and out.
Percentage of those visas and PhDs that are going to people from other countries. And the more we send them back home, the less we get to benefit. Yeah.
Hey, Doc. Doc?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that
Can you hear me?
whole time. Yeah, that whole time you were talking, you went in and out. So, where you started with that you are the second generation, is everything after that was in and out, cut off. We lost you.
Okay. Let me make sure. So I'm second generation American. In my view, the biggest commodity the United States has is our F-class visas, which are educational visas. When you look at the PhD structure across the country, most of those visas go to people. Well, all the visas go to people from other countries. But if you look at the percentage of our PhDs that are going to actual Americans, we're fucking dumb. I mean, just go take a look. Go look at what percentage of the PhDs in this country are going to United States. Our biggest commodity export is our educational system. You know, we used to be one of the number one suppliers of gasoline. We used to be one of the number one suppliers of manufactured products. Thankfully, we were able to exploit Japan through specific ways, and we took over manufacturing of a lot of consumer goods that supported our economy. And, Japan deserved it because of Pearl Harbor. But functionally and realistically, this is an entire world game that we're playing. And I don't have problems with any particular culture, although I lived in Japan. They were pretty hateful against non-Japanese, which was a new experience for me to live in an environment where I was actively discriminated against. Probably deservedly, and I'm glad I had that experience, so I'm not criticizing it. But our culture is the melting pot. Our number one export commodity right now is education. And if we're going to continue to send all of our PhDs back home, reap the benefits. We will send all of our education and all of our learned information and the history and the backs of our ancestors. We're going to piss it away on racism. Hopefully it didn't cut out there. I tried to recreate what I said.
No, it's just I was kind of paying attention to the chat, but not really. I was looking to see if anybody, had questions, because this is, like I said, this is psychology and mental health. Psychology and mental health. I'm so fascinated with it, and I just, I wish that there could be. I wish that more research can be done, and I wish people would take advantage of it. Hint, master, because it needs to be exposed as that it's not bad. It's, I just.
No, it's problematic to me. Like, I'll say, I used to participate in Mester's channel. That's why I got him so intoxicated that one night. I was a participant. I wasn't trying to be malicious. It was actually just a fun experience because there was somebody on the internet that was taking metered shots based on how much money was donated.
I wish that live was still up. I really do, because that would be great.
It was very, very fun. And he didn't do anything wrong. He wasn't, this is the problem. Like, I don't like Todd particularly because I think he's too judgmental. He casts judgment. He pretends like he's read his book, and he wants to continue down paths that I think are malicious and wrong. Now, I don't particularly like what he did in those times because his channel was boring. It's kind of boring. It's like revolves around whatever his opinion is. And there wasn't any big overarching theme. At least with Ruff, even when I didn't like him, he was talking about the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Sixth Amendment, much of the Fifth Amendment, pretty much all of the things that matter he was talking about. And like just bitching about some other person's experience is not, it's not YouTube worthy, Todd. Like there's a reason your channel is not going to grow. It's because why don't you have a real mission? Why do you have something to put your effort towards?
He actually, out of all of the Doofus Crest, has the potential. I mean, I'm not going to negate the fact that his channel is about his opinions, and that's great. That's what your channels should be.
Sure.
But he 100% has the opportunity to be the one to go viral. If he, you know, this is why Doofus Crest is so funny, is because when he does get in those moments of anger and yelling and, that kind of stuff, like that is why they tune in. That is why he gets the viewers, is because they want to see the crash out. And that's why he's been trying for so long to get YouTube famous on YouTube and on when he was on Periscope. Nobody cared about what he talks about. If you look at the things that he talks about, the Flecka's people or whatever, a bunch like this racist stuff, or I, I don't even know. Those are the only things I can think of. Nobody watches. But when he is having meltdowns, that's when they watch, because that's what people want. That's why I, have, you know, as many viewers as I do now, is because people want to watch the conflict and they want to watch the dumpster fire.
Well, I'd say that's 1,000% true. I think Todd has the propensity to go viral, but I also think he has the ability to do it in a positive way, because it appears to me he started this with a very low insight into the things he talks about, and it would make a really great story if he figured it out.
He started his
Like,
channel, he started his YouTube channel, I believe, as a Bible study and homesteading.
oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Did he learn anything? Like, did he learn any of those topics? Is he a homesteader?
He claims, but he never shows anybody anything about it or what he's done or progressed. Or this is a guy who sits in his basement all day long playing Magic the Gathering. Oh, did we lose him? Buckster?
It sounds like.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. That's okay. Yeah,
Oh,
if we
totally
lost him.
lost him.
Yep. Well, if he comes up, we'll continue. Yeah, rage quit.
Damn it! I shouldn't have called him out on the birth certificate thing.
It's your fault, Buckster. You did it. Damn it, JJ. Oh, so all you wonderful 85. Gosh darn, I'm outside with the pups. They've decided that it's now potty break time. So, did you guys? It was long, and I highly doubt. Mester is probably listening, or at least listened to a little bit of it. He won't review it. There's no bet money that he will review it. That he won't review it. So, did you the chatters? CJ 2:34 in the morning. Yes, CJ, get some rest. I know. Damn it, JJ. We're DDoSing people. Oh, Doc, don't even worry. You had so much great insight. I would love for you to come back whenever. I always have an open link. I, always have an open panel. And I highly suggest, Doc, if you haven't already, check out the Stone Vet. He's a military guy, he's a Marine, and he actually has a lot of great things to say. He's also one that laughs at Doofus Crest. And to have you two with Dirty Hippie, all three of you guys up on a panel talking military, I would be fascinated with. I would be fascinated. And I think that would be a fun live to watch. I don't know about the rest of you, but that would be a fun live. And Doc Scrolls, we appreciate you immensely. Immensely.
I just wish you would open up a little bit and become more comfortable talking online.
Not be so chatty.
He seems so shy.
He is, right?
By the way, I am totally going to clip the early part of that and put it up as a separate thing.
Please, all of you. I want all of you to use it, share it. There's no copyright music. Even though we have some people who are going to claim there's not.
Well, even if there was, I think I know who to talk to get a
a waiver. Yeah. I mean, even if you don't transform it and play it, in its entirety, have at it. Even you, Mister. Even you, Tinkle. Yes. That was fun. Yeah. Doc Scrolls, mental health related, absolutely. Yeah, those are Hippie and Stone Vet, two of the. I wish I had, been around for, the longer than I have to learn more about Hippie and Stone Vet, but I mean, those are two dudes that just are so entertaining. I think it would be just amazing.
And Gemma Crown says you did great tonight, Secret. Yeah, that's pretty tough to just sit there and let somebody talk for 2 hours.
It's amazing.
You're very good at that. It's just like saying nothing.
It's it's a little tough, but yes.
Wouldn't you love to see Todd have the balls to have him on his channel?
Wouldn't happen.
Nope.
I mean, Mester doesn't even have the balls to, come up here. You think he's going to have Doc Scrolls? Come on now. Yeah. All right. Should we discuss what we talked about, or blonde tech? Shut up. Should we go back to good old Mester tonight? I really don't want to review his stream from tonight because after that it was.
Yeah. I think we've had enough of the topic for now.
Yeah, especially, the discussion of And we have bingo tomorrow where we're going to laugh at him. So where am I at? There we go. MC's heading off to bed. Yeah. Not that JP I'm painting. Yeah, no. Yeah, Candace says Todd cannot have anyone on that has credibility that disagrees with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Candace, I think that is an excellent idea. Excellent. And by the way, Candace, I just want you to know is I didn't respond to your email, but don't listen to the B person because they were wrong. You were fucking fantastic. So I think this was enlightening. And yes, let's reflect on what Doc Scrolls said. When you came up and read the charges. When you came up and read the charges. All right. So on that note, let me get a little outro. Doc Scrolls, again, thank you. So much appreciated. That was just so enlightening. Like, not even enlightening, but it was so intriguing. And I just could talk about this stuff for hours, but I'm sure the rest of everybody is bored. Well, you did fantastic. Thank you, sir. Hey, guess what, guys? I broke Doc's cherry. I busted out his cherry. Gotta leave with a little bit of humor. What time is bingo? It's going to be sometime between 11 and 1 Pacific time. I've got some things I need to do tomorrow with my parents. So hopefully I will get back in enough time. Candace, I will not take that bet because he won't. So
no. I'd love to see them try.
Yeah.
You know, to sit there and go, "Oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about."
Right.
We listened. He didn't even listen to the 911 call. How could he know what he's talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, what parents? No, it's only my mom. I use her as a floaty. Remember, Candace? $25 super chat. Thank you. Yes, Republic, I am going to touch grass tomorrow morning with my parents. Thank you guys all for sticking around. Had a good time. Yeah, fucking writer. See you guys tomorrow at Stingo. Hopefully you guys all stop by. We'll have some laughs and some drinks and some snacks. Muckster, you have anything?
No.
Okay. And with that, you guys, once again, the potato investigators are on the loose. And so is the Roblox investigator. All right. See you guys all. Have a good night. Bye.
Besters on the internet, searching day and night, looking for Doofus Crest fans, says he's gonna make it right. He's exposing Roblox players, posting every every clue, but somebody asked a question that he never thought to do. Whoa, mister, what are you gonna do? Your grandkids play Roblox too. If you're hunting every band that's in the Roblox scene, are you exposing your own family team? He's got screenshots, he's got names, he's got another lead. But his grandkids just logged in and bought a virtual steed. Now Mister's staring at the monitor, confused, wondering if the case he's building just got self-infused. Whoa, Mister, what are you gonna do? Your grandkids play Roblox too. If you're hunting every fan that's in the Roblox scene, are you exposing your own family team?
Wait a minute.